Hi Scorpio, hope you guys are doing great today. Let's get right into your messages. So we have a very crazy busy week coming up. We have two consecutive T-squares that are, these are grand T-squares that are going on here between Saturn, Uranus, and Mars on the 3rd, and then another one having to do with Saturn, Uranus, and Venus. Mars and Venus are both going to be in Leo, and that'll be happening on the 7th. So very intense week, especially for fixed signs. And Scorpio, you are a fixed sign, especially for those of you who are Scorpio rising anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees. You're going to be feeling this especially so. Now, what is the deal with the energy? In short, it's going to be sort of this tension between the old and the new. Right, we're looking at Saturn and Aquarius. For you guys, it's happening in your 4th house, right? That's where something needs to, there's going to be a lot of tension there. There's going to be a lot of tension having to do with the idea of 4th house is home. The idea of home, buying a home, selling a home, people that you live with in your home, or your ability to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in your life. These are the different ways that it can manifest. So you have Saturn in there. You've had Saturn in there for quite a while. You're going to have Saturn in there for at least another year there, but not in the same way. It always depends on what's aspecting it, right? So you have that 4th house energy, and its intention opposite that is the 10th house, which has to do with career, public reputation, you standing in the world. That's where something new is going to be coming in. That's where Mars and Leo is going to be coming in. So again, that 10th house can have to do with career, but a lot of you aren't working. What else could it mean? Public reputation, standing in the world. Are you married? Are you not married? Are you somebody's daughter, husband, wife, child, whatever it is? So there could be something new coming in here, a new realization, some sort of new something. So for some of you, this could be this push to get a new job where you're getting offered something new. Some of you are being pushed to look at the state of your relationship, the state of your marriage. Some of you are going to be pushed to look at the situation that's going on in your particular family, your current family situation. And guys, a lot of times this kind of energy, when it happens, it can be where there's a change in that area, right? So there can be a change in how you are understanding life. So in other words, you go from being married to not being married. This can happen when we experience the ending of relationships or the ending of things. The ending of family connections, the ending of a work situation, right? Where our standing in that situation can shift, right? And because it works opposite the 4th house, it's something that could be making us feel very sort of vulnerable and insecure at the same time. And I'm not saying that to sound scary. I'm saying that to just understand that you're in a period of change. There is going to be a big surprise coming in the 7th house for you, which is the house of contracts. So it's contractual relationships. So it could have to do with marriage. It could have to do with a business partnership. It could have to do with any area of your life right now where you're engaged in some sort of situation with somebody where there are contracts. You're in a relationship with somebody that's involving a contract. Okay, so this first spread that I'm doing with the Celtic Cross here is just going to be for general. This could have to do with relationship, career, family situation, anything like that. And then I'm going to be doing a separate 7-card ellipse spread for relationship only. And then I'm going to end with pulling some energies for those of you in separation. I'm going to timestamp below for all of those as well. All right, anything else that I wanted to mention about the astrology? I just kind of wanted to get it out of the way. We have Mars and Leo, and then we also have Venus and Leo. So expect a lot of nostalgia, particularly if you're in a space where there's a lot of change in your standing in the world, having to do with maybe, again, the dynamic of a relationship is changing, the dynamic within family is changing, maybe somebody's passing, maybe it's changing for the better. It does depend on what's transiting your particular chart. Right? Not everybody's going through the same exact thing. That would be silly. So we're just addressing the archetype of Scorpio. I don't know you or what else is transiting in your chart, but especially Scorpio, as I said, Scorpio risings from 10 to 15 degrees are probably going to be feeling this the most profoundly. So let's talk about what's going on in the past. Let's start with the past first. Kind of makes sense to me in this way. So we have this 9 of Wands energy. So there's this feeling of absolute exhaustion, Scorpio, right? I mean, where you are, generally speaking, coming from a space where you were in a strong position, but you were just really tired because you've gone through a lot. You've gone through a lot in that relationship, that family situation, that work situation, whatever it is, but you also have the perseverance to see something through, even though you probably likely found yourself in a situation where you're feeling really defensive, right? Feeling the need to stand your ground, stand up for yourself, like very, very stressful. Who wants to do that, right? You might have been even in a rather negative mindset, but you don't want to stay there. You don't want to stay there, because if you still have gumption left in your belly for something, your efforts can be met with success, as long as you maintain balance. And success is whatever is ultimately meant for you. Because there's one thing about this energy right now, especially with Mars and Leo, being opposite Saturn like this. There's something very karmic that's happening. And what is Mars? Mars, it gets a bad rap. It's the warrior planet. It's all about, it's the Tower card in tarot, right? All of these things. But really, what is Mars? Mars wants us to be on our rightful path, in the space that we're meant to be in. So Mars likes to come in and just clean up and get out of the way, anything that's not ultimately meant for our higher good. Right, so that's what this tension is going to be, in order for us to really feel so uncomfortable and recognize that change needs to be made. Sometimes the changes are made for us, and we're left to deal with the fallout of that, depending on what's aspecting your chart. But there is this idea of change, and for you, the breaking free Uranus and Taurus energy again is going to be happening, and the surprise is going to be happening in that 7th house. So you might be meeting somebody out of the blue, where it's like a whirlwind romance kind of thing, and you just feel completely connected to them. That would be a beautiful manifestation. This could also indicate something shocking happening in the realm of your marriage, or any sort of people who you're dealing with that have you in any sort of contractual agreement with. So let's see you right now. We do have the 5 of Cups right now, having to do with where you are at, and this is about loss and leaving and sadness, right? Now this could be a relationship of any kind. This could have to do with friendship. This could have to do with a work situation, a money situation, whatever it is. But it's something that ends before you feel really ready for it. So it's like, if it hasn't happened yet, you're in the midst of feeling this change that you just feel like viscerally, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But you are going to be able to deal with it and move on. You are going to be able to do it. You will, in order to make a new start. You're going to be able to assimilate the feelings and emotions that are challenging, and you're going to be able to move forward with it. But your challenge here is the moon. The moon is really feeling like it's disappointment. I just feel a lot of sadness here. I'm sorry for the delay. There's so much sadness here I'm feeling. So if this has to do with relationship, you might be in a space where you're just feeling really confused and disappointed because somebody let you down, and you feel just very let down by something that happened within the relationship, and you're even wondering if the relationship could even work out, at the end of the day. If this has to do with a career, you're feeling like, was all of this nonsense worth it? Emotions running high, you feel like you need to protect yourself from others' negativity if it has anything to do with career or money. Even if money matters is stable, even if money is really not the main issue, it's like you're dealing with toxic energies here, But some of you might even just be feeling very disillusioned about where you're living right now and what you're doing, and it's like, this is general sort of very emotional energy, though, very sort of crisis of faith, feeling very vulnerable right now, very emotional, in a state of crisis. And I feel like that, this is the current challenge for you. Now, because moon rules the 4th house, the moon is Luna, it's mother. There might be issues for some of you regarding the situation of either home, right? I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about where Saturn is. The idea of mother, right? Whenever we talk about 4th house, it's also mother's situation. So there could be some sort of sadness having to do with maybe needing to leave a home, struggles having to do with home, struggles having to do with a parent, mother specifically. But I would clump the dad into that as well. The modern interpretation is both parents really are the 4th house as well. So that's kind of like the situation that we're dealing with here. Now, what is the basis, right? The basis of the situation is this 9 of Cups energy. And 9 of Cups just wants you just want to be flipping happy. You just want to be happy. I mean, that's all it is. This is about being able to manifest and really very much want a happy situation having to do with whatever outcome you're dealing with. You're just trying to make yourself feel happy. You're trying to be happy. And there's a lot of, I feel though, there's a lot of rumination going on. There could even be some obsessive thoughts. You want to be careful of escapism. But it does seem like you're just trying to make yourself feel happy, right? Because the present situation is you're trying to figure out a problem here. So we have to put these two energies together, right? The basis of the problem in the current situation. So you really want to be happy. And as a way of wanting to be happy, you have to figure out a situation. The Hermit is Virgo. Virgo is the energy of problem solving. So how do we solve problems, right? We go into introspection and we figure out where have we been, right? If this is a situation that's been ongoing, trying to identify the various cycles that have been existing within this dynamic, right? So that we don't keep doing the same thing. So that we don't keep repeating any mistakes, right? Whether it has to do with that intimate relationship, that friendship, that family connection, whatever it is. So for some of you, you may be resonating with it like that. For others of you, if it has to do with career or money, you might realize it's time to step back and analyze just basically what's not working. And you might feel like it's time to try a different approach or a path, you know? Because you may be challenged in your ability to feel safe and secure in what it is that you're doing. You know, that's going to be for others. So others of you are going to be in the space where you're recognizing in order for something to work, there's going to need to be a different strategy. And that strategy is going to require two things. It's going to require more energy from you and more time put in order to smooth over whatever situation is going on. In other words, if left on its own vices right now, the situation is not going to work out. It's something that needs to have action upon it, kind of thing, right? But this is what I feel like a lot of you are just kind of going to be going through. So this idea of needing to prioritize your responsibilities, right? But don't try to make any long-term final decisions about anything that's sort of very profound, right? I mean, you're in the space of figuring things out, getting your ducks in a row. Be comfortable in that space right now. It's okay to not have all of the answers in the moment. It's okay, right? As you're thinking these things through, though, Scorpio, you have to understand, right? The suggested approach is a brand new beginning here, right? Ace of Wands is, first of all, very auspicious energy, but it's understanding that some sort of new beginning is needed. Some sort of new job, a new enterprise, a new creative approach, a new approach to your family situation, a new approach. For some of you, it's recognizing it's time for you to just get into a new relationship altogether. It's time for you to just get another job, right? New. But it going in your favor, right? Going in your favor. Now, the external energy, and this would be the others in your life, we have the Queen of Wands, right? So this is sort of the energy surrounding you right now. The Queen of the Swords, rather, did I say Wands? The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a Virgo and Libra energy, right? So you're very determined. You're trying to stay very strong. You're very motivated to try and find out the psychological truth of a situation and the motivation of somebody that you're dealing with. So this could be maybe a business partner, your intimate partner, a family member, anybody that you're dealing with, but you're trying to figure out, like, what is your real jam? What's going on here? What is this situation grounded in? Is it grounded in jealousy? Is it grounded in fear? Is it grounded in vulnerability? Because it does seem like you're going through something with somebody in your life here, Scorpio. It certainly does. I just feel like you're dealing with a very selfish energy. Is that strange? Right? Yeah. So your hope and fear is the Page of Coins. So you would really like a new beginning here. obviously, right? I mean, some of you would just really, you're hoping for a new job, but it's like that might be blocked right now for some reason. You really want to progress forward. You really want to have a new beginning, having to do with that situation, having to do with that relationship, having to do with that person. And it's really what you want to do, and you're willing to put the work in. You're willing to do all of that, but there's something that's getting in the way of that. And I feel like it's something that you can't mitigate. I don't always get this feeling, honestly. I'm getting this feeling very intuitively that you're dealing with a difficult situation. If it's not a particular person, it's a situation that you can't possibly mitigate. Almost like maybe it's like the closing of a business because of stuff going on in the world right now, right? Whether it's the result of the pandemic or something like that, or this could be an illness or a death of somebody, or, you know, things that we can't possibly mitigate. For some of you, for others of you, you could be dealing with somebody who's just so deeply entrenched in their own way of thinking that you can't possibly mitigate it. You can't possibly mitigate it. So we have you being in an emotional stalemate in the near future, right? I mean, that's what this is. It's time to figure something out here. You have to think about this, and you need to make a decision, because you're in this space, Scorpio, if you're resonating with this, where you really want to protect yourself. You're also recognizing that some sort of situation that you're involved in right now isn't going away. You can't not see it. Those of you who know astrology, this is like the quintessential inconjunct card, a quincunx, right? You can't make believe it's not happening. You're going to want to protect yourself. That's fine, but you can't make believe. You can't wish something away. There's something that you need to stand your ground, say what you think, say what you feel. Action is needed. There needs to be a decision about whatever is going on here. It's very necessary. It's very necessary. Now, in the final outcome, we have the King of Coins. So the King of Coins, very interesting energy, because on the one hand, it's a very generous and hardworking energy, right? This is, having to do with relationship. It's somebody who likes to be in relationship. It's somebody who identifies themselves as a protector, right? But this is somebody who really has zero patience for anyone looking to take what they believe to be theirs. So, and it can be theirs, right? Maybe their money, maybe their values, their assets, or it doesn't have to be anything material. It could be they have no patience for anyone coming in to try to change them, right? The way they engage with the world, their personality, what it is that they bring to the table, what it is that they offer. It's like somebody coming in and saying, yeah, but you can help me out in this way. Why can't you be on board in this way with this situation? Why can't you just do this? Then this person is very inflexible in that way. It's like this could be a literal greed, or it could be more like a metaphorical greed, right? Where it's more of what they're willing to give, right? It might not have anything to do with money. But I feel like you're dealing with somebody like that. And we have the Queen of Coins, the Seven of Swords. Yeah, you see? You got the Seven of Swords here. I mean, the Queen of Coins, this is just you saying, all right, you know what? I got to sit back. I have to take care of myself, first of all, Queen of Coins, to take care of your body, take care of your mind. But you're also at the same time trying to take care of your resources. You are. Now, as a general influence, this could indicate marriage, money coming to those of you who are coupled, good financial management. This could also indicate fertility. Queen of Coins could be fertility energy as well. But it's also, just generally speaking, I feel like you're in a space where you're realizing what's necessary for a situation. You might be dealing with a difficult situation, but you know what's necessary to work something out. You know what somebody needs. You know what the situation needs. You're sort of in the space of knowing that, right? But you're dealing with somebody who's very dishonest and very immoral and running away from responsibility. Somebody who may be overstepping boundaries. Again, but it's the selfish energy again that's just coming through. But you're going to need your, and I feel like I've said this to you guys so much, like the past 6 months, Scorpio. You're just going to need those spidey senses turned all the way up just to figure out exactly what you're dealing with. And honestly, there's no better sign to do this than you, in my opinion, right? Because you guys are the detectives of the zodiac. You know the right questions to ask. You know how to look under and behind things. You guys, modern ruler of Pluto. It's like, let me dig in and let me get to the bottom of what's going on. But it can be very frustrating depending on what else is aspecting your chart. As I feel like whatever it is, it's very emotional. Something is very emotional, and you really don't want to have to deal with this. So then we have the Ten of Cups energy, which is very nice. We have the High Priestess. We have the Five of Coins. Queen of Wands, yes. Six of Coins, okay, good. Yes, Ace of Cups. So I think everything's going to, listen, I think it's going to end up okay. I want to say two things before I go on. Get the Ten of Cups, so cool beans here, right? This is good. But let's just, two things I want to talk about before I forget. First of all, Chiron is in a very harmonious trine with your energy, so you're going to be very supportive towards eventual healing. And when I say eventual, I don't mean next year. I mean pretty quickly. But there is some sort of block, something that you either need to accept as just is and work on processing, or some sort of block that you need to address getting through, having to do with some situation that you're dealing with right now. On top of that, and I'm telling everybody this, if you don't know what a change back is, you need to understand what a change back is right now during, especially this week, guys, especially this week. Let me explain. And I'm giving the same example in all the videos. Let's say, and you apply it to your situation as you see fit. Let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and they feel very entitled to treat you a certain way. Any kind of relationship, it doesn't matter. And they could be maybe a little verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive, God forbid, I hope not. But let's just say, all right, they don't treat you the right way. And you make it clear that you're not going to put up with their stuff anymore. This is where you need to be ready for the change back moves, right? This is where you have to be ready. Because change backs are what a lot of people turn to when someone that they're close to stops playing their game, right? And the person acting poorly likes you better when you put up with their nonsense, when you let them get away with things, when you're less certain about what it is that you want, need, and desire. You're less certain about your boundaries. You know what I mean? And if you don't play along with them anymore, then they have to figure out how to adapt to the new you in order to continue with the relationship, right? But if they feel threatened by it, they're going to make you the bad guy by saying really mean things like you are always a lousy daughter, sister, brother, worker, wife, husband. I never really wanted you anyway. Truth be told, I've known this was over for a long time. You know what I mean? Like this guy. And it's just like, that's idiot talk. I hate to say it, but you have to be ready for that challenge, and you have to anticipate that resistance, and you have to figure out a way to manage your own anxiety and your own feelings of defensiveness so that you could be ready to address somebody else's anxiety and idiot behaviors, right? Because this is the thing. You're not going to want to take no for an answer because of the Mars and Uranus square. And the Mars and Uranus square is going to be pushing every button inside of you. Or it's going to be like, but at the same time, you feel change right around the corner. So you need to act. Regardless of any blockages that you're feeling, despite any difficulties, you have to sort of forge through something. But just know that it's very likely, particularly where our fixed energies are hanging out, we're going to have some sense of resistance. There's going to be stress there. So this could have to do with your home, or with any sort of marriage, contractual agreement, anything like that. So just be ready for that. All right, these energies are going to be rolling out until December. They're kind of rising up. The cream is rising to the top this week, though. But I like that we have as the center energy, the clarification. We have the Ten of Cups. This is really nice because this is about family, but it's about contentment. It's about, this is just a good energy for family. You being very focused on that, things coming together, coming to fruition, having to do with fill in the blank, family, romance, business, communication, whatever is on your heart right now. And you're just very focused on what matters. You might have this messy energy, this dishonest energy, this person who's rather greedy. They don't want to change. They don't want to share. They don't want to do whatever it is that your experience is. But you're very focused on what matters. And I love that we have the High Priestess clarifying that. This tells me that you're very much tuned into your intuition in a really healthy way. You really focus on the important stuff that matters, and you're doing a lot of thinking on your own, and you're not sharing what it is that you're feeling. You're keeping, it's like you're keeping your, how do I want to say this? I just feel like it's all coming together now, because the High Priestess is associated with the moon. The moon is the 4th house. You have Saturn in Aquarius in your 4th house. I feel like that's where there's going to be release. There's going to be release in that 4th house energy, right? But it's going to be replaced by something that's going to end up being very healthy for you. Even though initially it's going to be very difficult, you're going to don't be surprised if you feel very alone right now. Don't be surprised if you're going to feel very tested. If you are, now for some of you, this can be fear of financial issues, where you're going to have to figure out some sort of new option that can help you see a way forward. For others of you, you may be working through the pain in the aftermath of either a breakup or a death, or accepting the demise of something or someone, right? And it's just that, and the security that we lose when these things end, the security, right? And when we say we feel security, we have security, that's not very tangible, right? It's something that we're feeling. So you're feeling this loss of security, you're feeling this sense of loss of support. You have more support than you realize right now, though. This is a very psychological card, but it does indicate like this feeling of disconnect and potential sadness as well, right? But then we have the Queen of Wands, which is you stepping into your power. This is Pisces and Aries. Ideas are going to be coming to you, and you're going to be strong. This is an energy of strength. And then we have the 6 of Coins. 6 of Coins has to do with, so what is the strength inflecting? 6 of Coins is about property. It's about family. It's about inheritance. It's about generosity and support. If you have been struggling financially, if you resonated with the 5 of Coins as it being some sort of financial struggle, things getting better. This could be money coming to you. If it doesn't have anything to do with money, this can be emotional, mental, or physical connection, where someone from the past shows up offering you support right now, or you offering it to them. But it really is the 6 of Pentacles. I love the 6 of Pentacles card because it's very much a I have your back, you have mine kind of thing. Let's help each other out. And it's kind of like a being there for each other card. And then we have that being clarified by the Ace of Cups, which is lovely. Of course, for some of you, this could be a new relationship, somebody reaching out to you from the past and you're getting in a new relationship with them. Or this could just simply be there being a lot of strong love and support within a family situation that maybe has been very challenged up to this point, right? Anything that sort of speaks to your heart space, really, right? Any key emotional event. But this is an idea of advancing forward. It's an energy of fertility. So it could literally be pregnancy, obviously, but it could also just be anything where we're able to say, okay, let's grow from here kind of thing, right? So there's a lot of love and support involved here. At the end of it, though, like this is like a thing that you're going to have to go through, though. Thing that you have to go through. So I feel like some of you are dealing with the aftermath of either a breakup, a death, a business failing, losing a job, something, some sort of challenge or struggle that you've been going through, but it ending up better. And I feel like it's going to be ending up better because you're going to be hearing from somebody who's going to be very supportive of you, and it's going to make all the difference. So that is what I see. And for those of you who are going to be dealing with in the process of dealing or will be dealing with any loss, I'm so sorry for that. All right, I truly am. I know it's been a year, right, of that. I guess on any given year, depending on where you're at in your life, people pass all the time, relationships end all the time. But I don't know, it just seems like this has been a year for the books. You know, personally losing my father, losing my mother-in-law within 10 days of each other, and just so many weird things happening, and then just so many of the readings I've been doing, just a lot of loss going on. Interesting. Okay, my friends, let's do an ellipse reading. It's a set called the 7-card ellipse, if you're not familiar with this spread. We're going to do this for relationship. And then after this, I'm then going to pull some separate cards for those of you who are in separation. So you might want to stick around for both if, having to do with relationship. Okay, so this has to do with the past. This is the present. This is the future. This is advice. External or other. Hope and fear. And outcome. Ooh, we get the Emperor as the outcome. Something like that. So we have some reversals going on here. So we have in the past the Two of Wands in reverse. So this tells me something fell apart. Something fell apart having to do with relationship. Now this could simply be some plans fell through. Maybe you guys were planning on buying a home or going on vacation, or you were planning something. Could certainly be that. But the Two of Wands in reverse also indicates thinking small, like not thinking big enough. Not thinking big enough about something within the relationship. And sometimes, right, that happens when we're feeling very vulnerable and insecure in a relationship. So, Scorpio, you might have been feeling like, oh, you know what, let me just stay in this relationship because, I don't know, maybe I'm not going to be able to get better or do better, or what's the difference? You know, everybody's sort of... you know, nobody's really good to be in a relationship anyway with these days, you know, that I'm meeting, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like that it could, for some of you, can manifest like that. But that was in the past. Let's look at the present. Present, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And so for a lot of you, you may be in a space of feeling very vulnerable. For some of you, you might not be feeling specifically vulnerable, but you might be in the space of having a poverty mindset, meaning having to do with money. You might have money, your money might be okay, but you're very worried about the future and you're very worried about having enough, right? That's considered a poverty mindset. Some of you might even be dealing with a bankruptcy issue right now, or some deeper financial issues right now, and that's a situation within the relationship. Others of you can just be in this incredible space of self-protection and like you're on guard emotionally in a relationship that you are in right now. You know what I mean? Like your eyes are open and you're on like hyper drive where you're like just waiting for a shoe to drop kind of thing, which is never a good energy to be in, right? I hope you're not in that. So we have in the near future, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, which is about quitting something, plans stalling out. There not being weak boundaries indicated here. There being weak boundaries indicated here, right? You want to be careful of that, right? If you're in that place, something just kind of not. Whenever you have Wands reverse, it's always this idea of delay, stalling out, right? But what's happening here with the Seven of Wands in the upright, it's you drawing a line in the sand and saying, look, this is what I want, need, and desire. And in the reverse, it's like, okay, that's not going to be met. And needing to come to the realization that, okay, am I okay with functioning in the relationship if I'm not going to have my needs met in this area? And only you know the answer to that. So we have the advice is the Moon. So the Moon, this is something that you need to look at. You need to recognize that you're experiencing a crisis of faith, that you may be feeling this emotional vulnerability. Recognize that whatever you're experiencing, it's just like a very illusory kind of energy. So there is confusion, there is disappointment, admitting openly that you feel let down, you feel disappointed, you're not trusting, rightfully so, that the relationship can work. And that ends up leading you to make a decision about the relationship. And this is actually your advice, is to actually embrace this idea. Now, for some of you within relationship, you're going to be like, yes, that's absolutely what I'm feeling. Others of you, you may be in this space where you and your partner are in this place where you're just like very disillusioned about where you're living right now. Or you're having second thoughts about a move or some sort of home improvement project that's turning out to cost a hell of a lot more than you originally thought it would. But that can be a thing within your relationship right now. And again, that's very much in alignment with what's going on with Saturn in your 4th house in the astrology. So depending on where you're at and what's going on. But we do have the Ten of Wands here. So the Ten of Wands is the external energy surrounding you. Now for some of this is like, okay, overwhelm, overload of responsibilities, overload with the burden, overload, right? And it's just feeling like I can't do this anymore. Now some of you might be in a space in your relationship where things are just being neglected in your relationship right now because of other things going on in your life. So maybe you're dealing with a lot with your job, a family situation, you know, whatever like that. And you're just not paying the attention that you should be paying to your relationship. And in fact, you may not even feel very receptive to this reading right now. And that's okay. That's okay. Because this is an energy of sort of like overwhelm. Overwhelm. Your hope and fear is the Ace of Cups. So you're hoping for a new start in relationship, but you're fearing it's not going to. You're hoping for there to be strong love and support. You're hoping for this. You're hoping maybe for even a new relationship, just to fall in love with somebody new. Some of you may be hoping to get pregnant. You may be hoping for something like that. But you're also fearing that at the end of the day, it's not going to happen in this particular situation. And when we have a hope and a fear like that, a lot of times it can show up as a block for us. But we have the outcome as the Emperor, and you taking the bull by the horns. I love this as the final outcome energy. If you end up being in a space of being single, this is meeting somebody new who's really great and somebody who values tradition. For those of you in relationship, this could be you guys just sitting down and talking about future plans and practical matters in a very direct way, with logic. A lot of logic, like, okay, what do we have to do? Let's figure out what are we going to do? How are we going to move this forward, right? Because this really is an energy about you taking control, right? But feeling security in all of that, and the need to conform to a particular situation, and you being very determined to have this new path with a new perspective in the area of relationship in your life. Now, for some of you, it's going to mean getting into an entirely new relationship. For others of you, it's going to require them sitting down, your partner, and working with you. Obviously, if you're single, this does indicate you're meeting somebody new. Between the Ace of Cups and the Emperor energy, with the Moon as the central card. Okay. So we have the Temperance energy and the Three of Cups. I love it. Beautiful. Temperance is a lovely energy. This is the Hierophant energy in numerology, which is all about marriage. This is an energy of cooperation, reconciliation, reconciling, even if you guys never broke up, reconciling issues together that are situations within the relationship that can generate healing. And this is through a new level of trust and very patient cooperation after a really difficult time period. Now, for those of you who are single, you may find yourself very, very pulled, energetically, spiritually pulled towards a partner. But however it's coming out for you, it's a very emotionally intense time. Very emotionally intense time. Whether you're in a relationship or not, I'm loving this equally so, I have to tell you, even though I feel like you're in a very trippy position right now. I like how it's ending up. If this Ace of Cups and Emperor energy is you meeting somebody new, this is you just sort of being very energetically pulled towards somebody. And Three of Cups, beautiful energy. Cups is emotions, right? 3 is the number of creation. So excellent energy for new relationships for sure. For those of you that are not meeting somebody new, this is getting through a really difficult time, and you being in this space of healing whatever it is that you guys have been going through. And you're going to know how. Now, if you're in a very dysfunctional relationship, but you still want the relationship to work, I'm pretty sure things are going to, I know a lot of you are not going to like that I'm saying this, but I have to be honest. Just with Uranus in your 7th, in Aquarius, squaring Saturn, relationships that are not good for you are not going to last, Scorpio. They're not. If they're good for you, they will. They will be kind of transformed in a very beautiful way. If it's not healthy for you, I see Spirit pulling you the hell out of that bad boy and into something much nicer. So I can't say I'm mad at that, either way we slice it, you know. Let's pull some cards for those of you in separation. Okay. Let's pull 3. We'll pull 3 for these, and then we'll pull 3 for the on-in-time wellness. And keep in mind with these, this could be you towards them, them towards you. It's just the energy that's existing within the energy axis of the two of you, even though you're not together. Twin flame, soulmate, hello. Okay. What's going on? So we have first, time passes, but my feelings don't change, even though you no longer trust me with your heart. And clarifying that, we have twin flame, yin yang, balance, union, coupling, complementing each other. We have, I fantasize about getting a second chance with you, and that's being clarified by soulmate. Soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. Oof, you know, those could be so difficult, right? Those stupid lessons we need to learn from each other. That doesn't mean you end up together all the time, though, guys, right? We talk about that a lot. Twin flame soulmate. You don't always end up with the person, but there are lessons that you need to learn. So it does depend on your particular situation. And finally, I settled for second best because I don't deserve you. Hand of cards, taking a chance, being strategic, not showing hand, gambling. Oh, I feel like somebody's trying to move on with somebody else and they're trying to take a chance to try to forget about you, or to try to or maybe you're doing that. I don't think it's going to go very well for anyone, whoever's trying to do that, because it's like the energy is pulling in your direction. It's not going to go well for them if that's what they're doing. It's not going to go well for you either. If you know you're supposed to be with somebody and you're trying to busy yourself with somebody else. Sexuality, such a Scorpio energy to get, right? And entrapment. So sexuality is really the ability to be very open and vulnerable in intimacy and in relationship in general, and not allow any sort of like masked behaviors, insecurities, vulnerabilities, ego issues, anything like that to get in the way. So this can manifest several ways. You might be dealing with a situation where someone cheated, someone is very insecure, somebody's very vulnerable, or you might be realizing that there's something about the person when you're in a situation with them where you don't feel fully comfortable to feel fully like your small little scared pink vulnerable self in front of them. There's something where you feel like you always have to hold back, where you feel like you can't be 100% your authentic self with them. That all feeds into the sexuality energy, right? And how it is that you feel about being yourself in the most purest form, right? And we have that working with the idea of entrapment. So you might be dealing with somebody who's just a serial cheater. Some of you are going to be, understanding it like that. Others of you are feeling very trapped in this energy where you want to be with the person, but you can't get away from the feeling that you feel where you can't be 100% yourself with this person, because intuitively you feel like you need to protect yourself from them. And that gets in the way of you being like your full, metaphorically, naked self with them. You understand? So that's something that needs to be addressed and figured out. That's a very deep one, and that would necessitate you really kind of delving inside your own mind into your past, if you're resonating with that, to figure out, not only why would you feel like that, but then why would you even be in a relationship that would put you in that position, right? So things to think about there, but that's what we have for you guys for this week. I hope this was helpful in some way. Breathe deeply this week. It can be a trippy week, again, particularly for all fixed energies, okay? So if you happen to be a Scorpio sun, but you have a lot of like mutable energy, or a lot of, I'd say mutable energy, because it may not be as tough of an experience for you. Those of you who have a whole boatload of fixed energies in that like sun, moon, rising Venus energy, you might have a little bit of a struggling time right now, but just know that whatever's on the other side of it, it's absolutely meant to move you in a better direction than where you're at right now, regardless of how challenging it may seem in the moment, okay? All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.